background you see in the stadium, there are people doing monkey signs. It's happening in the stadium as well. It's happening. You can see it's in the video. So it happens. You have on one side the altercation between the players. You have on the other side what happens in the stadium as well. And then for me, even worse. And I'm clear in what I say. It's what happens after the game. So after the game, you have the leader of an organization, Jose Mourhno, who uses basically, who attacks the character of Vinicius Jr. by bringing in the type of celebration to discredit what Vinicius is doing in this moment. And for me, in terms of leadership, it's a huge mistake. And it's something that we should not accept. So I'm very clear on that. On top of it, he mentions the name of Eusebio. To say that Benfica cannot be racist because the best player in the history of Benfica is Eusebio. You know what black players had to go through in the 1960s? Was he there to travel with Eusebio every away game? When he went to every place in Europe? Probably at the...
Hello guys, today we are talking about Jose Mourhno versus Vincent Kompany. You know, this week the European Champions League between Benfica and Real Madrid was marred by racist incident, and we see how Jose Mourhno misspoke or started furnishing excuses for this kind of bad stuff. You know what I mean? And before I go on to talk about it, I'm gonna say, like, I like Mourhno. You know, if he goes to any finals, any competition, like his finals with any club, it doesn't matter, any club, I would like him to win. So having said that, you know, because I'm gonna be critical of him today. You know what I mean? Because people might say, "Oh, look, this guy in his own history of a managerial career, soccer management, he has been in the forefront of promoting black players or African players. You know, I love them. I'm not saying that's false. You know what I mean? But for him to come out and start to make excuses, you know, start to make excuses for this kind of thing, and even saying something like how we see that the racists always say, like, so somebody will say, I'm not a racist because my friend is a black person. You know, I have a black friend. You know, if you say something like that, it's just dumb stuff to say. You know, if you have a friend, if you have a black friend, doesn't mean that, you know, you're not a racist if you are. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that Mourhno is a racist. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, like, you can't make excuses for racism, you know? Because you see that Vincent Kompany didn't mess his words, you know. He was plain about it. He said, you can never, if you don't feel racism, you can never... if you put yourself in shoe of Vinicius Jr., of which Mourhno will never be in that position, you cannot talk about tell somebody how the person feels, you know, because Mourhno is trying to blame the victim in this case, you know, the victim of racism, which is Vinicius Jr. But, you know, as Vincent Kompany said, put it well, that this is wrong, you know what I mean? And even for him to bring up a legend, a black legend. Yeah, Mourhno brought up the issue of Eusebio, the Benfica legend, the black guy. I think guy played for Benfica, stuff like that. You know, the club is not a racist club. We're not talking about club being a racist club. We're talking about individual. You know what I mean? Because you can never generalize racism. You know, we don't do that. You can't come and say that the whole country or the whole club is racist club. You know, it's wrong to do that. You don't generalize it, but it's not like we don't have we don't have racist elements in some places, or even in some countries, or even in some soccer clubs, you know, football clubs, you know. So that's why for him to bring the issue of this black legend that played for Benfica is dumb. It's not good. It makes him look like he is out of touch with what's happening, you know. But I don't think he's out of touch because he have been he have been with black players and they receive this kind of racist treatment, you know. But I don't know why what's happening. Trying to defend his players, you know. But we know that the guy is from Argentina. You know what I mean? And the Argentina and Brazil, they are like their rivalry is still. They have this big rivalry among them, among these two countries, and it can lead to someone making a racist comment. So you should always know that this for the guy to even cover his mouth or his lips, it shows that he's guilty. You know what I mean? He can't escape this. He can't play dumb or that this doesn't happen. And this guy cannot just start saying stuff like that for what? Even though they're still winning. So why should he just fix something that's not, he had a racist comment from his fellow his opponent. You know what I mean? So that's why you see that Vincent Kompany came out swinging on Mourhno. You know what I mean? He didn't say, "Oh, he's a legend." No, Mourhno is a legend, but if he misstep, people are gonna call him out. And I think it's time for him to retire in football because now I don't see the point of him continuing management. You know what I mean? He need to retire and go and rest, go and rest his brain as well, or maybe he can go into managing countries that country football, not club. So country football you can be relaxed. Tournaments are played once in a while. So I think that's what Mourhno should can do, not to be in a club football, and and not to furnish excuses for racists. He's able to call, even if he's player, he's able to call the guy out. For the fact that the guy covered his mouth shows that he's guilty. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like our video. Peace.